Right, so a couple of days ago, we spoke about a situation that went incredibly viral on TikTok, and it's where this TikToker right here, called Katie Santry, discovered that there was a rug buried in her garden, and it turned into this, like, big mystery and, like, what's in the rug? That's literally what they call the series. Anyone's response video where they're trying to give, like, their theories onto what's happened, it would always be titled, What's in the Rug? And it became this big mystery. That was until the police actually investigated it, they dug up the rug, discovered there wasn't anything in there. Now, since this has all happened, there's been a lot of people on TikTok now voicing different opinions, not so much interest in the story, but more saying that it could be set up. And that's not me saying it's set up, by the way, but a lot of people have been making videos claiming that they believe it is, and they give their reasons, and it started this kind of like debate online, so we're going to be taking a look through them videos. But first things first, we should take a look at this new situation that's happening on Katie's page, where she is claiming that she has been robbed for her TikTok live money.
Well, you know you've made it when you get hacked and robbed. I got robbed. Anything I've made from my lives is gone.
Which, by the way, we obviously don't know how much that is. I can imagine it is a lot. Now, you've got to think, when she was going live about this situation, there was over 100,000 people in some of her live streams. The one where, like, the police actually came and, like, dug out the rug, there was, like, 150,000 people in that live stream. Even before that, in a live stream that I didn't see, but Katie spoke about in one of her videos, she said that, like, she cried in front of, like, over 100,000 people. So these live streams were, like, incredibly viral. There's a lot of people in them. So I can only imagine the amount of money that allegedly has been stolen here is a ridiculous amount. She then ends this video by trying to, like, make light of the situation, but says that she's really angry about it.
Should I take this as a compliment? Do I take this as there's criminals who are watching my TikToks? We're trying to make light of it. As we know, this is how I handle things. I'm so angry. I'm so fucking angry. I got robbed. I'm famous. But actually, if it was you...
And then Katie went on to make another video about this topic and explains how she got robbed. Turns out, she says, she just filled out a scam email.
I was having a relaxing dinner with my boyfriend, drinking margaritas, eating tacos, and wham, I get an email from TikTok support. I'm like, oh, okay, let me fill out your little form. Immediately, within seconds, your email has changed, your phone number's changed, you're locked out of your account. Everything is happening. Panic.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying, if you receive any email where they ask for any of your information, make sure the email is legit. That should be like your #1 priority in that situation. Katie then goes on to say that she messaged this other TikToker called Chris Olsen, I believe, who helped to kind of like work around this. Didn't fix the situation in terms of her money is still gone, but it shouldn't happen any further.
So what do? I text my new TikTok father. Chris Olsen. Yes, the Chris Olsen. He has been helping me all day today. Truly, he has been a godsend. He has kept me sane. And this man instantly knew what to do. He's like, do this, fix this, change this, 2-step authentication, add this Google Authenticator, blah, blah, blah. Guys, we got it solved after I was robbed, but it shouldn't happen again.
Yeah, so this is the TikToker she's mentioned here, Chris Olsen, with 13.5 million followers. Clearly gets a lot of views, and he helped to set up, like, 2-factor authentication and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. If you actually look at the comment section on these videos, there are a lot of people who are on, like, Katie's side, and they're saying, like, sorry this happened to you. But there definitely is a lot more people now than there was before, kind of claiming that stuff doesn't seem to be true. How did they take your dollar and you can't cash out whenever you want? You can only get paid out on Wednesdays. Yeah, this is something that a lot of people are bringing up. I don't know how TikTok works in terms of getting paid, but apparently people don't get paid till Wednesday, and if someone hacked your account, how do they receive your money? You've then got other comments saying, I think the 15 minutes are over, you doing too much, TikTok Live pays out every Wednesday, no way they would have gotten the funds today, or this whole thing feels off. You can see, right, there's a lot of comments clearly from people who are a bit skeptical, but on top of that, there's also a lot of people who definitely believe it and think that this is 100% legit, and it definitely could be. I mean, Katie's definitely not the first person and won't be the last person to click a scam email and fill in some information when, in hindsight, seems a bit stupid, but then these hackers now having your information steal something from you. That has happened before, it'll happen again. But because so much stuff has happened recently, there's been a lot of TikTokers voicing their opinions, like this video here, for example, by Makeup Fresh, who says that this story doesn't seem to add up in her opinion.
Again, this whole rug thing, a lot of it doesn't add up for me. And now she's saying she was robbed of her live money. She said she got a phishing email, filled out the information because it said it was from TikTok. Her TikTok account was hacked, and all of her live money from the last few days was robbed. My question is, you can't access your TikTok money until Wednesday. So how did the hackers get that money?
Yeah, I mean, that is something I would love to hear the answer to be fair. Because, again, I don't really know exactly how TikTok money works. Can you get it before then? I don't know. Here on YouTube, you obviously just get paid when you get paid. You can't access the money before that. So if it is the case that she couldn't receive her money till Wednesday, you would think like the hackers would get into her account. And if she can't get the account back by Wednesday, they would change her details, her payment methods, and receive the money. I'm not really sure what's happened here. But either way, the video continues and she explains further why she thinks that this could all be made up in her opinion.
Because the one thing they possibly could have done is transferred it into coins and paid it to themselves, but that transaction would be showing. And she's saying all the money was just taken out. That's not possible. Also, the whole thing with the ghost, and she just so happened to mention the rug. My guess is they may have found the rug in the backyard, and then they were like, ooh, let's make a video about ghosts to get attention to the rug. But do I think both things were happening at the same? No.
Now look, from my personal opinion, I don't believe that this was all just like one big setup. If it was, it fucking worked for her clearly, right? She's got 2 million followers now. But I personally don't think it was all one big setup. Might there be parts of the story that have been like exaggerated or slightly made up to make the story seem like more appealing to people? Maybe, with like the whole ghost stuff, like your laptop got smashed in your kid's playroom. Could just be like the kids, you know? They might have knocked it by accident. Might not be a ghost. But yeah, I just find it hard to believe that it's all one big setup. She got the police involved, the fucking CIA were at the house, like, investigating it. That's some risky business if they found out that you made it all up. But at this point in the video, Makeup Fresh mentions Katie's merch that we'll get into a little bit later on in the video, and then also believes that she was planning on making a GoFundMe about this whole, like, robbing situation, but hasn't because people are skeptical.
And also the merch thing. This seemed like a very coordinated thing. And now with the getting robbed thing, I think there may have been a GoFundMe that was intended. But now that people are like, what do you mean they robbed you of your live coins? Maybe the GoFundMe won't come this time.
But this isn't the only video that came out kind of questioning things. There's been many other ones, like this one here, for example, by Miss Jessica Cecile. I hope I pronounced that right. But she basically starts off the video by saying that if you don't believe that this is all made up, then you're insane.
If you guys seriously think that Katie Santry, the rug lady, did not set this up, you guys are insane.
She then goes on to explain her reasoning by saying there was like a lot of coincidences that happened and that Katie ran with it by going onto lives and stuff. And she goes on further to say that if it was her in a situation and she thought there was actually potentially a dead body in her garden, she would not be filming live streams.
Now let's just take a step back. Let's, like, truly, okay, I'm on social media. If that was me, and I think I have like 12,000 followers, if that was me, and I truly felt like something was buried in my backyard, I'm not going online. I'm not going on live. Especially when the police are at my house.
Yeah, I mean, regarding that, I definitely wouldn't do that either. People might have the opinion that they think it's slightly odd that she made it into content, which I could get the argument a lot more than just, oh, she made it all up and kind of like and somehow coordinate all this to happen, because that's a lot of stuff to coordinate. But yeah, to answer what she said, if it was me, the last thing I'd be doing in that situation is making content out of it, right? You'd be ringing the police, trying to get them to sort it. Which she obviously did do, by the way, but she also filmed it. Some people might have a problem with that, some people clearly don't. Now, at this point in the video, Jessica goes on to mention the money being stolen.
She has all these followers, great, whatever. Cool. Good for her. Awesome. But now, like, her money's been stolen. Okay? What a coincidence. Or did it get stolen? And because she now has to keep this going, because this is what got her the views. This is what got her followers. Now, followers are invested in this story still, right? So now she's like, you guys, all the money off the live was stolen. I was hacked. Because people are going to be like, no way. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is because now she's got all these followers who are interested in this like crazy story about like this rug that was found in the garden, she now has to make like a new story up to keep the followers interested. I don't know, like I said, the whole like phishing email thing isn't really that hard to believe. It's happened to a lot of people. In hindsight, you can say it's a bit stupid, but again, a lot of people do fall for stuff like this. Obviously, the part that people are confused about is the whole like not being able to get paid out till Wednesday. We don't really have any answers to that. And then Jessica ends this video by also mentioning the merch that we spoke about earlier.
And how are you gonna put out merch? How are you gonna do that? Weird.
Now, interestingly, Katie Santry herself has actually commented on this video saying, you did see that they had to bring an excavator in to get the rug out, right? Which I've got to say, I am like 95% sure in my brain that the whole like police showing up and them having to dig out the rug is 100% true, because that would be such an easy thing to prove otherwise, and the police would definitely come out to say that that wasn't true. But I guess the debate that people are happening is that some people think that she maybe like placed the rug there, or other than that, she might have found the rug there and thought, oh, how can I make this a bigger story than what it is, and pretend that this is like whole haunting thing that's happening. That's what some people are like assuming. Now we do have a further video from Katie that I want to speak about in a second, but first of all, let's show the merch that's been mentioned a couple times throughout this. So this video is by Peter Petrilla, who gives his thoughts on the whole merch.
Guys, the Rug Lady made merch. This is not a joke. Katie Santry, the woman who went viral a couple of days ago because she found a rug in her backyard that she believed potentially had a crime hidden inside of it. She made merch. I feel real weird about it, so let's take a walk through. Let's see what she's selling. First up, we have What's in the Rug, both sold as a t-shirt and as a long sleeve shirt.
Okay.
And then you can kind of see down here, she also is selling it as a hat. Don't worry, it doesn't end there. She has a Just Keep Digging crew neck and a Just Keep Digging hat. I feel exceptionally weird about this one because look at the skull.
Okay, right, one important thing to note here is that this stuff was being promoted before we found out that there wasn't actually a body in the ground, which I feel like is very important to know. Now, the reason why I didn't mention it in my last video is because I did see videos from people talking about this merch, but I couldn't find anywhere on Katie's page saying that she has this merch, right? So I didn't know if it was like fake, if someone else has just made the merch and claiming that it's from Katie. I didn't really know enough about it. But now after the situation, Katie has updated her bio to show the website, and we do actually have the website right here. This is straight from her TikTok bio, showing the merch, including this one with the shovel going through the skull. Now this exact top I did see people talking about before we found out if there was actually like a body in the garden, so it clearly was getting sold at some point or getting promoted to be sold at some point. And if that is the case and she did make this merch before finding out, yeah, this is not it. Making merch, just keep digging with a shovel going through a skull when you think that there's potentially a dead body in your garden, that seems absolutely wild to me. The other stuff is whatever. People might still have a problem with it regarding the situation, like what's in the rug. I mean, it actually, saying that, it does also have a skull there. There's also other pieces like I'm just here for the update, like merch. This one that says Yippee Skippy, I guess that's maybe something she says in videos. But this type of stuff, like I'm just here for the update. That's one thing, right? People might have a problem with that, but it's nowhere near the level of like this type of stuff in my opinion. This seems a bit insensitive to me, especially if this was made before we found out what the actual outcome was with like this garden and like if there was actually someone buried there, right? If this was only made now, that's very, very different. But either way, Katie Santry has uploaded a video kind of responding to people, doesn't really say what she's responding to, and just says it's people like typing on the keyboards.
I wanted to address some things because this has been crazy, and I think it's very easy for people to clickety-clack behind their keyboards and behind their screens, not realizing that they could be potentially being mean to a perfectly nice and normal person.
Yeah, I will say, from my personal opinion, some of the theories that people have been coming up with seem a bit ridiculous to me, and I don't see how that could be possibly true, like the people who are saying that it was all just one complete setup. I just don't see how that could be true. There's just too much to it. Especially knowing the fact that the CIA and the police showed up, and if they found out that she did it herself, which I'm pretty sure they'd be able to figure out really easily if she planted a rug somewhat recently underground. Like, the amount of trouble that she would get into for that would be a lot, I assume, so I just can't see how that would ever be true. Obviously, there's then the claims that she saw the rug and decided to make it this big thing. I don't know, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. No, at this point in the video, Katie goes on to explain the type of content that she used to make on TikTok.
I first started making TikToks 6 weeks ago.
Oh, she started making videos 6 weeks ago, and her page has absolutely blew up since then. This has all happened very, very quickly then.
I've had 2 miscarriages. I wanted to talk about them. I wanted other people to know that they're not alone because it is a horrible thing to experience. I talked about pregnancy symptoms. I talked about the crazy pregnancy symptoms that nobody talks about and the weird, gross things that happen to our bodies that we're just like, hush, hush. No, we need to talk about that shit. I was talking about my divorce. I was talking about co-parenting with my toddler. I was talking about very real, vulnerable things. And then one morning, my computer broke in the middle of the night. And there happened to be a rug buried underground that we found when we were digging a post hole. And my life changed. My original goal when I started TikToking was, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so cool if I could hit 10,000 followers by the end of the year? That was my goal. We have quickly surpassed that, just a little. And I am still figuring all of this out. And I appreciate the people who are here to stay so much more than you could ever understand. And if you're not, and you're just mean and you were here for the rug, that's fine. Peace out, Girl Scout. We don't need to be friends. But I just wanted to let everyone know I'm just me. I'm currently in granny panties and I haven't brushed my teeth yet.
So yeah, that is Katie's video. That's kind of all the stuff we have at this point. Like I said, I don't know if any of this stuff that people are saying is true. Clearly, right, we're not going to really know unless we're Katie. If I had to guess, and obviously I could definitely be wrong, I think that the rug thing is real. She found this rug, probably was freaking out about it. If I found a rug buried underground, I would also think like that's a bit weird. There has now been a lot of people saying that like gardeners do bury rugs sometimes to like make like a guard for moisture or something like that. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it is something that apparently happens. But I do believe the whole rug thing is legit, and she probably was freaked out about it. I would be too in that situation. She rang the police, which I definitely believe, and they've came out to actually have a look at it, which I definitely believe. Right, so I'm recording this bit a few days after I've just recorded the bit that you've been watching, and Katie Santry has uploaded a new video addressing all of these claims, so I thought we should definitely mention it in this video. The first thing being, she responds to the claims that she made up all the haunted stuff.
My house being haunted, that's a whole other thing, because at the end of the day, my laptop got shattered, my desk thrown around for no reason. There's a lot of people saying like, oh, it was one of the kids. Impossible. My son was out of town, and the two big kids went to bed after we did. They have their own computers. They don't need to go play with mine. Wasn't one of the kids.
And then she goes on to respond to the money situation.
I will just add in this tidbit. I've seen some videos of people saying that I made an enormous amount of money. Can I tell you? Unless my TikTok account is just hiding thousands of dollars from me, girl, I wish. I made maybe 10% of the number that people are putting out there that I made. Like the amount that got stolen from me, you guys think is like that. It was $800. It was $800.
Yeah, I mean, it might be $800 that was stolen. I do find it very hard to believe that she's only made $800 from the situation just because she had like over 100,000 people in multiple live streams who were all donating. It doesn't seem realistic to me, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's telling the truth here, or maybe it was just the fact that it's the $800 that specifically got stolen and there's money that isn't, okay? But either way, that is her response. But either way, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.